There's a hidden science behind elite performance that most people never hear about. It's not just about habits or hustle. It's about understanding how your brain automatically hijacks your behavior, how effort becomes its own reward, and how elite minds use desirable frustration to fuel excellence. Today I'm revealing 5 little-known systems used by the top 1%, rooted in real neuroscience and experimental psychology. These are not fluff. They're transformation tools few understand, but those who do live by. Stay sharp. This video will change how you design your days. Our minds operate using 2 distinct behavior systems, habitual and goal-directed. A major review from PMC Neurobiology shows that the corticostriatal loops in our brain drive this. One loop triggers instant habits, while the other handles deliberate decisions. Here's what almost nobody realizes. Elite performers intentionally shift between the two. A simple cue, like walking into your workspace, automatically triggers your 1% habit system. But when obstacles arise, a quick conscious switch to goal-directed engagement overrides it. This is why most habit gurus fail. They teach repetition, not the switch. Action tip: tomorrow, map your trigger points, where you habitually slip, and plan a conscious switch cue. If I feel stuck at 3 p.m., I'll take 5 deep breaths and re-enter my deep work state. This builds the habit goal toggle elite brains use without even thinking. Think effort is painful? Think again. In 1992, psychologist Robert Eisenberger introduced learned industriousness, the powerful idea that effort becomes rewarding if paired with reinforcement. In controlled studies, participants praised for high effort, not outcome, became more persistent on unrelated tasks. The 1% train hard, not to win, but to fall in love with effort itself. You've been told to just focus. But here's the truth. Focus isn't something you have. It's something you enter. Elite minds don't wait for focus to arrive. They train something called attentional narrowing, the art of shrinking your awareness until the only thing that exists is the task in front of them. Studies in sports psychology show that elite athletes like Olympic archers, sprinters, and Formula One drivers enter a narrowband state called quiet eye focus. In this state, the brain filters out peripheral distractions, the prefrontal cortex quiets down, and attention locks into a single cue, like the center of a target or the start light on a racetrack. A study published in the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience, Vickers 2007, showed that this ability correlates directly with higher performance under pressure. Elite military units like Navy SEALs also train for perceptual narrowing under high-stress situations, sharpening focus by collapsing mental bandwidth. The difference between success and failure lies in how quickly they can access this state. What most people don't know, your brain uses glucose and oxygen rapidly when switching tasks or resisting distractions. But in attentional narrowing, energy is conserved, and instead of draining attention, the brain funnels it like a laser. There are biochemical markers involved here. Norepinephrine sharpens alertness, acetylcholine filters noise from signal, and dopamine rewards precision behavior. This neurochemical mix is what athletes call the zone, and what top performers enter deliberately, not by accident. Actionable practice. Train micro-immersion sessions and choose one task: reading, writing, deep work. And set a timer for 9 minutes, not 10. Odd numbers trick the brain into urgency. Before you start, stare at a single spot or word for 10 seconds. Breathe in through your nose for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. This activates parasympathetic focus. Begin the task, and don't allow any break until the 9-minute mark. This builds the neural muscle of attentional narrowing. Do this once a day, and within 2 weeks, you'll have 3 times more mental stamina than 99% of people. Start stacking this technique with a 1% identity anchor. I'm the kind of person who trains focus like a skill, not I try to stay focused. Because focus isn't willpower, it's neurological conditioning. Let me tell you something most people hate to hear. If it feels easy, it's probably not helping you. The top 1% don't just seek progress, they engineer friction. They use something called desirable difficulty, a principle that turns struggle into a powerful performance enhancer. What is desirable difficulty? The term was coined by UCLA cognitive psychologist Robert Bjork. It means that the best learning happens when tasks are challenging, but not impossible. Your brain needs to strain a little to encode, store, and recall data. When it's too easy, the brain disengages. When it's too hard, the brain shuts down. Elite learners, top musicians, chess players, athletes, intentionally train just beyond their comfort zone. This is where neuroplasticity is most active. What happens in the brain? When you hit a point of mental friction, your brain begins releasing dopamine and norepinephrine, the same chemicals involved in goal-seeking and alertness. At the same time, the hippocampus becomes more engaged. That's the center responsible for forming long-term memories. This means the more desirable difficulty you build into your learning, the deeper and more lasting the skill becomes. A 2014 study in the Journal of Applied Research in Memory and Cognition found that students who studied under difficult but controlled conditions retained more and understood deeper than those who followed easy repetition. Why most people miss this? We're taught that if something is frustrating, it means we're doing it wrong. The 1% flip this. They understand frustration means the brain is rewiring. Confusion means your mental model is being updated. Real-world examples: Kobe Bryant would deliberately practice with ankle weights, uneven lighting, or distractions to make real games feel easier. Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion, trains with time decay drills, forcing him to make moves in decreasing time windows. Jeff Bezos encourages Amazon leaders to disagree and commit, building cognitive discomfort into decision-making to increase critical thought. How you can train this today: 1. Apply the 80-20th challenge zone rule. Set your tasks so you succeed 80% of the time and fail 20%. This ratio gives the brain enough reward to stay motivated and enough failure to trigger neuroplastic growth. Examples: if you're practicing speaking, push to record 1-minute ideas in new words or accents. But if you're reading, pick texts that are just slightly beyond your usual vocabulary or topics. 2. Interleaving. Don't just repeat one task over and over. Mix related but different skills. Example: instead of doing 10 pages of one book, read 3 pages from 3 different books. If learning video editing, spend 20 minutes on transitions, 20% on color correction, then 20% on audio design. Research shows interleaving improves problem solving by up to 43%. 3. Use testing as training. Testing yourself before you feel ready is one of the fastest ways to accelerate mastery. Write from memory, speak aloud without notes, edit without a script, teach others even when you feel unqualified. This activates retrieval-based learning, proven to deepen memory and speed up skill integration. Remember this: the 1% don't fear difficulty, they chase it. Then learn how to breathe inside it. Every time you lean into friction, you're not failing, you're sharpening. You now understand the mindset and science that separates the 1% from the rest, how your brain's 2 systems control your actions, why the elite fall in love with effort, not outcomes, how deep focus is trained, not gifted, and why the top performers actively chase frustration. But this is only half the game. In part 2, we go even deeper: how the 1% use systems, not willpower, the exact way they design environments that force discipline, how they trigger explosive hot streaks of momentum, and 7 elite daily tactics to hardwire success. No fluff, no hacks, just raw science-backed systems for becoming unstoppable. So hit subscribe now, turn on the bell, because part 2 drops soon, and it's the part that most people never see. But you're not most people, you're building the 1% life, and this journey has just begun.